international clients. This is the sort of data which is, it's government data, which you can be assured is neutral, free of bias. For us, being a federal entity, we only want you to land wherever you're going to be successful. And the way that we do that is that we provide data in the sort of a heat map sort of context where you can assess where are the industry clusters that you're interested in, what's the workforce, what are the electricity rates, what are the broad incentives, and at least it gives you a starting point, because the last thing that we want is for our investors to be standing on the sidelines kind of waiting or not really sure where to get started. Now, once you have gotten started and you've gotten that data and you've figured out maybe a short list of where you want to go, we are happy to provide introductions and connections to the economic development organizations that can take you on your investment journey from there. Of course, at the federal level, we're kind of that, we view ourselves as the starting point. The states are really going to be the ones who talk to you about specifics of site selection and incentives and regulation, all of which will vary depending on what you choose. But I will say that, and we'll get into incentives a little bit later on, the economic development organizations across the country are really facing an unprecedented, unmatched sort of demand on their time. We want to make sure, particularly, that international clients are being given sort of their due time. So just because an economic development organization may not recognize your name or your company's name, you should still be able to get an answer. And frankly speaking, you want to do business where you are valued, and so some of that kind of helps you to sift out where you're going to land up anyway. But please don't hesitate to use SelectUSA as a connection to an economic development organization. Last but not least, we help clients to navigate the federal system by helping with questions or concerns that they may have on U.S. federal rules and regulations and even incentives. So we like to think of ourselves as the one-stop shop where you can get credible information. There are many parts of the investment journey that SelectUSA does not lead. But if you have a concern or need a contact related to, let's say, visas or permitting or any number of things through your investment journey that you might need clarity on, we're happy to put you in touch with the right parties. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't sell the United States and highlight some major attributes that draw business investment to the United States. International companies should consider establishing or expanding business operations to the U.S. Because of all the reasons you see on the screen here. And I will go into a little bit of detail on a few of these in the next couple slides. So first, I'd like to highlight just the production advantages of the United States and focus a little bit on workforce and energy costs. Narrowing on workforce, though, the United States offers a large and diverse, talented population. If you choose the U.S., you are buying into a talent pool which is willing to relocate for a competitive position and whose productivity outperforms OECD averages. And what would a sales slide be without a few rankings? Not only does the United States offer productive workers, it also offers an ecosystem that grows, retains, and attracts talent. The Global Talent Index rankings, which measure just that, puts the United States as 4th in the world. I'll also highlight here that the U.S. Has the largest economy amongst OECD markets by far. The over 330 million people in the United States are part of a large consumer economy and the business and all the business that is required to drive our stellar levels of productivity. In 2021, the United States had the highest GDP amongst OECD countries at $23.3 million. In terms of GDP, you can see next to the our next country is less than 4 times the size of our economy. To have access to such a large consumer market can indeed provide great value for your operations, and I suspect that's why many of you are in the room today. In terms of greenfield FDI projects in the United States, renewable energy, the landscape, you can see it here. The expectation for 2023 is to show major growth because of the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022. So we're expecting 2023 to be a very significant spike. Additionally, in these last few slides, I'm going to focus on highlighting the ecosystem and aligned incentive environment here in the United States. Now, a foundational ecosystem element that we are extremely proud of is our consistent and legal framework. People want to innovate here because their intellectual property is protected, and we have a transparent and a reliable legal system. We have government regulations that are enforced, and we have a stable security environment. And something that is equally important is that we don't differentiate between an international investor and a domestic investor. Depending on where you go in the world, that's not always the case. So we're very proud of our reliable legal system here. So what's great about a stable legal system is that it also encourages innovation. In the Global Innovation Index 2021, the U.S. ranked first for the following innovation indicators. As you can see, venture capital, the quality of scientific publications, the quality of universities, the number of patents by origin, the global corporate R&D investors, as well as computer software spending. Looking at what the ecosystem has fostered in the clean energy space, the United States is a global leader in clean tech innovation. The U.S. is responsible for 20%, that's 20% of all international patent families filed in the low carbon energy sector. Just some names of top patent filers for context include General Electric, General Motors, Ford Motor, and Raytheon Technologies. US-based firms are among the top patent filers in this sector, and global energy leaders are investing in US global facilities. Global leaders like Toyota Motor, Samsung, and Siemens have recently made large investments in US-based facilities. Additionally, we would expect prices to stay extremely competitive in regards to U.S. electricity because the Biden administration's focus on this and because the increased renewable energy generation nationally. The U.S. Energy Information Agency expects that renewable energy will provide almost half of the U.S. electricity by 2050. To get a feel for that growth over time, as of 2021, renewable energy provided 21% of U.S. electricity. So again, being at 50% by 2050 represents quite a significant uptick in a relatively short amount of time. And you'll find the renewable energy mix even more advantageous in certain states, locations of the United States. So again, to my earlier point about industry reports that can help you decide where to set up, SelectUSA's investment research team is happy to play that role for you. I should also mention it's sometimes we say it without even realizing it, but these services are free. We're a federal government here to support international investors. So when we're talking about creating an investment research report to help you land somewhere, there's no cost to that report. Let me flag here that our business friendly foundations are very strong. Of the OECD markets with a population over 100 million, the US has the lowest federal corporate tax rates. As you can see here, the US offers a more competitive tax rate compared to Japan and Mexico. As a point of reference, our friends to the north, Canadian corporate tax rate is 38%. Now, over the last couple of years, our Congress has passed 3 bills focused on innovation, investment, and clean energy. Together, these laws build on and support one another, as indicated in this analogy. the bipartisan infrastructure law. I like to think of that as kind of the backbone of our economy, where we have made historic investments in rails, roads, bridges, ports, broadband, grid, cybersecurity, and we've invested billions in clean energy demonstration projects to propel the industry, like clean hydrogen in the US. The next one I'd like to highlight is the CHIPS and Science Act. CHIPS ensures that we will be globally leading investments in technology research, innovation, and development, while catalyzing private investment for manufacturing of chips in the United States. This is the largest investment in American research and science in decades. And last but not least, the Inflation Reduction Act. I think of it as the heart and lungs of our operation. Tax credits ensuring long-term cost competitiveness and success as industry manufactures components for deploy clean energy technologies in the United States. IRA is a wide-reaching law, and it is the single largest investment in climate action in our nation's history, nearly $400 billion in federal funding to clean energy. The IRA also acknowledges how climate change solutions are tied to many parts of the economy. Not only do IRA climate provisions aim to lower greenhouse emissions, they also save consumers money, they create high-quality jobs, they improve public health, and they empower disadvantaged communities to take advantage of the clean energy revolution. Now, just as I conclude here, you can see some links listed about the Inflation Reduction Act. Please feel free to take a picture of that. Most of the URLs are pretty easy to just type in and get to. But they can help you get a better understanding of the different intricacies of this piece of legislation. And for my last slide, this is my contact information. Thank you all so much for your time today. It's really been a pleasure. Feel free to contact us with any questions you might have. We're here to help. Thank you so much.